In my opinion, I believe there's at least 150 extremists in Ireland. I would have strong beliefs that they are capable of doing the same thing that Cuireann did, because they had the same views, they had the same mentality as him. So that really alarms me, that they could do the same thing at any time.
A former radical has claimed that 150 Islamic extremists are living in Ireland and that she met them in the company of the London Bridge terrorist Cuireann Butt.
I became a Muslim for the wrong reason. I wanted to know about extremism.
I strongly believe that there are approximately 150 individuals throughout Ireland that adhere to hate narratives.
I think once they get to Dublin, there's a sense and awareness among Islamist extremists that the heat is off to some extent.
This is the inside story of an Irish woman who converted to Islam and who was radicalised.
You see what extremist people are doing, and I got sucked into that.
Who befriended extremists.
Cuireann used to make a joke about that I was like a brother to him.
Who was trusted by terrorists.
We went to Limerick, we went to Cavan together as well. We would have went down to Clonmel.
And who believes ISIS have made Ireland their home.
ISIS decided basically to use Ireland as not just only a place for fundraising, but also a place for recruitment.
This is the inside story of Ireland's jihadis.
Aliyah is an Irish Muslim convert who moved to live in the UK in 2008 after she left school. Now, she was fascinated by 9/11, Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. And here in London she befriended a group of extremists and over time became radicalised.
Aliyah wished to protect her identity. Her real name is not used in this programme.
I mean, I was lost when I first became Muslim. I was really lost. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life. And it changed me. But in the beginning, I didn't know what Islam really was. You see what extremist people are doing, and I got sucked into that.
In West Dublin, the Imam of the mosque in Blanchardstown has been outspoken about the prevalence of Islamic extremists in Ireland.
Sheikh Umar, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. Paul Williams. Thanks very much for having us. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Your prayers are over for the day.
They are indeed.
Good, so we can talk for a few moments.
Yes, we have it. Great.
I strongly believe that there are approximately 150 individuals throughout Ireland that adhere to hate narratives. And these individuals I define as extremists, and they believe in a confrontational part of Islam, or part of Islam, an aspect of Islam that they believe is all about confrontation with the other. They are in Dublin, they are in Waterford, they are in Wexford, they are in Cork, they are in Galway. So they are spread throughout Ireland where there are Muslim communities, and they are hiding among them.
The head of An Garda Síochána's Security and Intelligence section is Assistant Commissioner Michael O'Sullivan. He agreed to speak with me about the threat posed by Islamic extremism in Ireland.
Assistant Commissioner, how many Islamic extremists or people of interest within that cohort are being monitored by An Garda Síochána at the moment?
There are a small number, no more than 30, of individuals who are of particular interest to us and who are subject to varying levels of monitoring. That level depends on their activity and their interest to us and the level of threat they pose to the security of the state.
A van drove at high speed, ploughing into pedestrians on London Bridge. The attackers jumped out of the vehicle and began stabbing innocent people. It then carried on to Borough Market.
Gardaí have confirmed they're working closely with the Metropolitan Police after reports one of the attackers may have...
They had established one of the suspected attackers' links to Ireland. 2 men...
Shortly after the London Bridge attacks in June 2017, Sheikh Umar al-Qadri called a press conference at his mosque. An Irish Muslim woman had come forward to him and revealed her close friendship with one of the terrorists, Cuireann Butt.
The Imam of the Blanchardstown Mosque, he knew that I knew Cuireann Butt, and he asked me to speak out. In the beginning I was really, really petrified, because I kept thinking, if I'm going to speak out, they're going to know it's me, they're going to target me for that. But I have to also see the bigger picture. There's other people I have to think about. I can't just think about me, me, me.
And do you think enough is being done by the government and the authorities to stop this?
I think they need to take a lot more actions for what they are doing. And then when I did finally speak, I got a lot of comments. One of my close friends at the time, she turned around and she said to me that there was stuff being being tweeted that, you know, I'm a terrorist. People that I would have known growing up, they were forwarding the video around saying like evil, scum, all of this kind of thing. So it made me think, the only thing I kept thinking was they think that I knew about that I knew Manchester was going to happen and London Bridge was going to happen, and I let that happen.
What is he shooting?
After the press conference, pretty much anyone that would have spoke to me, anyone that I would have been friends with, they all stopped talking to me. And that for me was quite devastating, because they would have known the type of person I am. They would have known that I wouldn't hurt someone.
Alia came to me in the Islamic Center and she said that she wanted to share some information because she had noticed me in the media speaking out against radicalization and extremism. And according to her, she had always been told by some Muslims to stay away from me. The day she saw the picture of Khalid Khurram Butt, that day she decided to talk to me, and she came and she shared all the information. In the meantime, I had spoken to some journalists about this. I mean, most of her claims that she made are being, as far as I know, investigated. But however, some of the things that she mentioned, they were known facts to me. I mean, I have heard the same from many other people. So, I mean, this is not unknown, it's commonly known.
The three perpetrators have been named as Khurram Butt, Rashid Redouane, who lived in Dublin at one stage, and Moroccan-Italian Youssef Yagba.
Once the attackers got out of the van, which they crashed into London Bridge, they raced down into the restaurants behind me here in Borough Market and broke into restaurants and started stabbing people.
Armed response units were on the scene within minutes.
He appears to be wearing combat fatigues and a fake suicide vest.
According to Irehad, the ringleader of the London Bridge attack, Khurram Butt, visited her in Ireland on numerous occasions between 2015 and 2016.
Now, her claims, if true, raise very serious concerns about Ireland's vulnerability to jihadis.
I'll never forget where I was when I heard about the London Bridge attack. I was drinking a cup of tea and I seen it on the news. And the next day I seen Khurram Butt's picture. I remember just looking and I literally dropped the cup of tea. I just couldn't. And I remember the person that I was with, they was like, "Are you okay? You knew him, didn't you?" They automatically knew by my response that I knew that guy. It was something that I couldn't hide. The look on my face, it was like, oh my God, how can he do this? I was completely gobsmacked. I'd seen Youssef Yagba once or twice before in England. I didn't know Rashid Redouane, no.
There's lots of international media here. There's a lot of interest in that potential Irish connection. The police say it's an incredibly...
identity card was found on one of the attackers. It's believed the man was...
satisfied Rashid Redouane had no links to terrorism in this country.
The attack on London Bridge on June the 3rd, 2017 connected Islamic terrorism in the UK directly to Ireland. 8 innocent people were murdered here and in nearby Borough Market. Many more were injured or maimed before the 3 attackers were shot dead by specialist units of the Metropolitan Police. Now, when it was discovered that one of the attackers, Rashid Redouane, had lived in Ireland, the security spotlight shifted across the Irish Sea. Was Redouane the only member of that cell with connections to Ireland?
Khurram Butt, the leader of the June 2017 terror attack in London, was he here in Ireland?
I'm satisfied that the Khurram Butt that died in Borough Market on the 3rd of June 2017, that Khurram Butt was never in Ireland.
Eamon, what's your backstory?
Well, I was born in Saudi Arabia and raised there and grew up there, traveled around the Muslim world, joined many causes, but through many twists and turns, I ended up working for the UK intelligence services, both MI5 and MI6. And my mission at the time basically was to infiltrate Al-Qaeda and other jihadist groups.
Tell us a bit more about living as a spy.
Well, living a double life, of course, is difficult and it was risky. I did it for 8 years between the years of 1998 until 2006. It involved being in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Lebanon, in the Arabian Peninsula. And also at the same time, I was monitoring other cells in Europe, including in the UK. So it was difficult, but nonetheless, I survived it, and that was in itself an achievement.
I want to ask you, as a former member of the security services, is it possible that Cuaran Butt could have been in Ireland and the security service just didn't know?
It is highly likely that he would have visited Dublin several times without the Irish authorities knowing about it, because at the end of the day we come back to the common travel area.
I don't think it's an understatement to say that in terms of the common travel area and the current arrangements that we enjoy now, which we want to retain, that we're only one major terrorist attack away from that being fundamentally reviewed.
All he have to do basically is to take a local flight from London to Belfast, and then from there rent a car and just cross into the Republic. There will be no passports scanned on the border in order to confirm whether someone came or not. The border is almost non-existent.